Hi, my name is Peepo3000, the official voice of Thatokuchannel. I'm here on service of the creator Stray-san, who is currently dealing with a sickness, preventing him from having a more active role. We're sorry for the inconveniences. In the meantime, I'm going to transfer all his thoughts about the Toku franchise. For starters, let's talk about the recently finished Avataro Sentai Donbrothers. A long time ago, Stray-san posted a comment about the first episode of Donbrothers, stating the next, this series, just behold several unspoken rules of Sentai, a pink male ranger, another Sentai that can turn into other heroes, the continuity between Sentais, having seen that since Denji Manning's son Vulcan, the female being the first one to appear with her transformation and even a dark Senkai. This series is nuts, I want more of it. His words weren't an exaggeration, since this Sentai was specifically designed to be a subversion of any trope previously established as a norm for every past Sentai incarnation. Shinichiro Shirakura, who previously worked as a producer for series like CU Ranger, Die Ranger, and recently Senkai Year, wanted to create a team of heroes that broke the stereotypical personalities of the specific colors and gender roles. He also decided to use CGI for two of the Rangers, to surpass the limitations of live-action suits, and allow more creative freedom for designing what they can do with the characters. The only thing that was left was finding a writer that could break down stereotypes and do a subversion of the Super Sentai franchise, a role that would fall into the hands of Toshiki Inoue, who previously worked as head writer for Shoujin Sentai Gentleman, and wrote several episodes for Flashman to Fiveman, also other episodes for the previously mentioned CU Ranger, Die Ranger 2, even write for O Ranger and Gokaiger, focusing on writing stories that would not teach children about totalitarian ideologies but instead lessons about freedom and diversity. A word that is reflected all around the show. The characters are the usual round-of-the-mile do-gooders heroes, but instead, a combination of fundamentally flawed individuals filled with good intentions, antagonists that play more of a rivalry role for our heroes, and monsters of the week that get tossed aside to give space for character development, and tiny plots sparkle all around the series. But before I enter to the main topic, this video contains spoilers for the series, so for any of you that haven't watched it, this is your last chance to close the video. With that said, let's start. Our story starts with a baby falling from the sky, found by a man named Jin Momoi. Little this man knows that at the moment he was raising the last descendant of the Dom clan, who will later grow to be Momoitaro aka Don Momotaro, the Red Ranger of this incarnation, a man who never tells lies.
太郎君は私いくつに見える
68だ。
胸がきついからです。
その胸の詰め物を取ればいいだろう。
この男は
本当にお兄さんなのか。俺は
is excellent in everything he does and eager to help people to do things correctly. A blessing that came out more like a curse. Due to his apparent godlike abilities, he was perceived as someone arrogant and wasn't able to make any meaningful connections with the exception of his foster father and a pet beetle, who unfortunately flew away through an open window when he was a kid. He has lived a life without knowing the true meaning of happiness, his words, and just wants to be able to aid others. At his 21 years, he now works as a delivery man, trying to bring joy to other people so he can find his own happiness. At the same time, a girl named Haruka Kito, a high schooler who won a Manga Award, makes her debut work, First Love Hero, suddenly gets involved in a monster attack and gets saved by a mysterious hero. Later, by a series of random events, will turn into Anna's sister finds that there's a sort of virtual reality blending in with the human world. She then discovers being accused of plagiarism and had her reputation ruined. Sulk in desperation, she gets transported into a prison dimension with a single cell containing Jin, Taro's stepfather. Jin informs Haruka that she was chosen to be a warrior with 4 others, and that the only way to change her fortune is to find Taro and bow and pledge loyalty to him, thinking that this person may be the hero that previously saved her. Sooner than later, she gets transported back to the virtual world, where encountering the mysterious hero, thinking that he is Momoitaro, she swears loyalty to him, only to get kicked aside. He quickly transforms and swiftly and coldly disposes of another monster that was rampaging the area. Much to Haruka's horror and disgust, out of nowhere another man appears and she confuses him with Momoitaro again, but ended being Tsuyoshi Kijino, at the time unknown to her, who quickly transforms into Kiji brother, only to be interrupted by a palanquin carrying Don Momotaro. After a series of fights and a classical battle with the giant monster, the other rangers leave the scene.
Oh my god.
Just the first episode, and already has a rocky start. If you're wondering why I take the freedom to describe most of what happens in this particular episode, is because most of the structure of the series follows this same chaotic nature, and is not until later on the series that all the team members know each other identities, and takes quite a lot of time for them to become true allies. The rest of the cast is composed by Shinichi Saruhara, Saru brother, being considered an unofficial professor by the people he has helped, an erudite with a tendency of reciting haikus that has never worked in his life, and any time he touches money his skin burns. Tsubasa Inozuka, Ino brother, a fugitive of the law, and the aforementioned Kijino that works as your regular salaryman with self-esteem issues, who tends to trick a lot. With such a mismatch of characters, you would think that there's no way that a team like this could work properly. And you would be right. The team more often than none butts each other heads all the time, especially Taro, who frequently makes remarks about everyone's performance, especially after the fights, when he will immediately proceed to attack his companions in order to make them stronger. So glad that they eventually work their differences. Yeah, that took a while. And I haven't even talked about Kato Goshikuda, who acts as the owner of the cafe, where the Donbrothers discuss most of their plans and lifestyles. What's weird is that in the series Kato is more calm, and has a more mild-like personality. He also transforms into Kaiser Black, involving in fights only when the Donbrothers are out of options. This creates a sort of mystery that is never fully clarified during the run of the series, only some insinuations about him being known as the true hero, and explaining being a hero a very long time ago. Their mission in the series is to rescue people that has turned into Hitotsuki, a person turned into a monster, due to a strong desire, going out of control, with past Sentai motifs. These monsters will occasionally drop Sentai gears that are collected by the owner, and used in a few occasions by the Donbrothers, with the function of either turning into previous rangers, or in Don Momo Taro's case, in a tiny but similar replicas of various Sentai vehicles. Initially, Don Momotaro would do most of the fight, until eventually, all the members can turn into a robotic version of themselves, to form a more classic Megazord, which thanks to the liberties of the CGI, are done in a virtual world and leave space for more creative fights, and less collateral damage. Heck, they can even turn into a human-sized mecha. The Noto are a group of beings from another dimension that were created by the brainless of humans, who were tasked to eradicate the Hitotsuki, due to the fact that their sole presence caused disruption to their own universe. You can notice that the antagonists have a similar goal than the Donbrothers, but while the Donbrothers rescue the people trapped inside the monsters, the Noto slays them and send them into some sort of pocket dimension to avoid any further disturbance to the world. You may not agree with their methods, but it's easy to understand their motives that come from a standpoint of wanting to protect their world and quote-unquote prevent humanity to fall into disgrace. The Noto are represented by a trio of selected warriors. Tsunoi, a very calm person with lots of integrity and a strict code of honor that has an interest in art, who acts as the leader of the trio and works as a rival to Don Momotaro. But we all know that they're just having a bromance. I can already see all the comments I may take for mentioning this. Sonoza, an eerie and really unstable man who laughs and cries out of place due to his desire to understand human emotions, more specifically, the feel of joy and laughter. And Sononi, a beautiful woman who is interested in love affairs due to her lack of understanding of the concept of love itself, which she encounters fascinating. Notice how I never refer to the Noto as villains, because this series doesn't really have any villains, but a clash between ideologies, with one side wanting to find harmony between worlds, and the other side wanting to protect what they perceive as the right path. For example, Sonoza bonds with Haruka after giving her some feedback about her new manga, and eventually turns into her chief editor. Meanwhile, Sononi, who after hearing what Tsubasa defines as love in many of their encounters, gets convinced over his sincere words, and even falls in love with him in the last episodes. The series goes as far to even let the antagonists go through their own arcs of growing and self-discovery, without ignoring the very nature of their conflict against the Donbrothers. If you're wondering why I haven't talked about Jiro and Rasame, it's because I have some extra stuff to say about them. But first, I just want to thank all subscribers for supporting the channel these last couple of years. Owners very pleased of your consideration, and happy to inform more upcoming videos, funny compilations, music videos, and very special surprise. With that said, let's continue. Jiro, Momo, Tommy, Dora, Goku joins the Donbrothers after a series of conflicts involving Sonoi, Taro, and a rampaging Kijino turn into a Hitotsuki. Gets solved, but he doesn't immediately click with the team due to a couple of factors. His desire to be liked by the other members, resulting in them getting frustrated about having him around, and his double persona in the form of Dangerous Jiro, also known as Dom Torbold, a cruel man with a tendency of clashing against anyone who crosses his path, regardless if they are or not enemies. Meanwhile, Don Rasame is a weapon that gains sentience and is tasked by a voice in his head, who he calls Mother, to fight against the Donbrothers. His character doesn't get much of a sense of progression due to the fact that his opinion may or not change according to who ends up possessing him. Is a sword form, and in an aspect the same can be said about Jiro himself, who suffers an anticlimactic end to his inner conflict that really suffer for a lack of exploration and a resolving conclusion. Don't get me wrong, I like both characters, but at the end, they didn't really get to shine in a convincing and satisfying manner. Heck, even the bosses of the antagonists get to have a more interesting screen time than these characters. And I didn't even mention the illusion Jiro leaves while he is growing, or his connection to the Dom clan, that really only play an important role during a few episodes. Avataro Sentai Donbrothers is a series that really offers something new for the Sentai franchise, with more complex characters, a good balance between silly comedy and more serious moments, and in general, a really over-the-top show with lots of energy. I don't know what else to say. It's just a really good start to what I expect becomes a renaissance for the Sentai franchise, and I expect to see more. Hopefully they will reappear for the Senkai Bird versus movie. With that said, that would be all for today. What do you think? Is Avataro Sentai Donbrothers a good or bad season? Leave your comments below. Remember to share, like, and subscribe. Also, don't forget to click the notification bell to receive this and more content, and I will be seeing you next time. Now, I really need to recharge my batteries. Bye.